Welcome to another episode of Into the Pot, the show where I review different pieces of media, what they meant to me, and how they've added flavor to the stew of my life. Today we're talking about K-pop Demon Hunters. As always, I'll start with the good, then the bad, and then finish off with the themes and details that resonated with me. Beware, there will be spoilers ahead. So let's go ahead and start off with the good. K-pop Demon Hunters was surprisingly very good. I did not expect K-pop Demon Hunters to be something that I was so obsessed with, but K-pop Demon Hunters was an incredible movie. I should have known. I had no idea this was coming out. I had no idea this was going to be a movie. Saw it on Netflix. I was like, what is this TV show? It's not a TV show. It's a movie. Who animated it? Sony Pictures Animation. Whoa, that's actually really cool. You can tell there's a lot of love and care in the movie because the animation is gorgeous. So let's go ahead and watch it. And we went ahead and watched it, and it's incredible. It's such an amazing story and such a fun animated adventure. I loved the very first opening act. When they describe everything about the movie, from the characters and the sort of lore about these K-pop demon hunters, it threw you in there. I immediately understood all of the characters, and they did such a good job to set up the characters, and we were thrust into this entire world. And then amazing songs just started playing with incredible animation that was so energetic and so funny and so lively that, the animation, I can go on, like, it was a gorgeous movie. I loved the animated expressions that the characters would have because it was such a fun movie, and I really loved that. And the entire plot that Rumi was a demon too, half demon, half K-pop demon hunter, I was like, whoa, okay, I wasn't expecting that. Like, we are thrust into this entire plot line. And then when the Saja Boys came out, this whole demon hunter, this whole demon boy band, that was like, it's such a ridiculous concept that it felt like it shouldn't work. But yeah, obviously it did work. And it worked so well. I thought the two bands, Huntrix and Saja Boys, was such a good contrast. They had amazing songs. The characters were all so lively, and I understood all of their motivations and what they thought and how they interacted. I found that the character designs were gorgeous, and everything about the characters themselves was immaculate. Like, it was perfect. They felt so well flushed out. But there is something that I feel like wasn't flushed out enough. And that's where I'll go ahead and talk about what I didn't like about the movie. And that's mainly the narrative aspect. I feel like the narrative of the movie was too fast. I feel like it needed more time. I feel like Rumi and Jinu needed sort of more scenes to develop a little bit of romance. An aquarium scene, perhaps? Maybe that would have been nice. But what I'm trying to say is that the points between the big, hard-hitting twists and the sort of resolutions was way too fast. It might be because they were having the songs play out through it, and a lot of the emotions were poured out through the music, which I loved. I absolutely loved. But for example, when the band sort of breaks up because you have the demon versions ripping off the jacket off of Rumi, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh no, I'm exposed and stuff, and now the band's broken up. She runs away and she goes to her mom's friend. And I'm like, her mom's friend is not necessarily an important character because she hasn't really been shown. But she's like, I'm gonna break the Hanmoon. And you're like, whoa, okay, like, what's she gonna do? And then it immediately goes back to that, and then the whole narrative arc happens where they sing together, they make up, the band gets back together, and now everything is good. And I was like, okay, are you not going to talk to the goddamn, your mom's friend, that lady who you kind of just broke her heart, and now you're like, all good? And then also Jinu's sacrifice was like, whoa, that was heartbreaking and very sad. But it's like, oh, well, narratively, like, everything is done and they can go to the bathhouse and that's it. And I felt like, whoa, I think narratively it just went really fast. And I feel like that's such a weird feeling. With a lot of animated movies, I had the same sort of problem with The Wild Robot. I feel like animated movies tend to go really fast between their plot. I feel like they don't let things really linger and sit for a while because animation is expensive. I understand. But it just went so fast and there's not enough time to sort of appreciate that sort of difference, appreciate the sort of breaking of relationships, appreciating sort of the lingering that sets in. But otherwise, I think the rest of the movie was fantastic, very funny and amazing. And then let's go ahead and talk about the themes and details that resonated with me, because the biggest theme that I saw was scars. The demons have scars, all those purple scars around them. And I felt like that was such an obvious imagery of trauma, of the scars that we carry. And I feel like that's such an important lesson to so many, because for both Rumi and Jinu, they had scars. They had done things that they didn't want to happen, or they were hiding secrets about their lineage, about their pasts, about, their parents. Because all these scars, whether they made them themselves like Jinu, or that they were passed down from your parents like Rumi, it doesn't define who you are. It doesn't tell you that you are undeserving of love and care, or even supposed to be slayed because you're a demon. And I felt like that was such a poetic way to describe it. And I think having those visual representations of scars be present throughout the movie was incredible. I think it's a great visual piece of storytelling. And I love that idea, just about how trauma just does not define us, and that we are deserving of love and care, even though we might feel like we are not a part of this larger community, or that we've done stuff that should alienate us. But at the end of the day, it's about forgiveness and it's about care. And I really love that about K-pop Demon Hunters, especially because I also think that there's another narrative about sort of inter-race relationships too, because Rumi's parents were a demon and a K-pop demon hunter. So what ends up happening is they get together. There is this sort of forbidden love that happens, and that's not explored in the movie. And I feel like that's very hinted at. But what's the more important part in the movie is that idea of being born to parents that quote unquote shouldn't have been together. That's such an important theme as well, because oftentimes as the world becomes more diverse, there are children being born who are from parents that society or communities deem that they shouldn't have had a baby. So it's like, whoa, to tell you that not only that your scars are not a problem and you are deserving of love, your parents, your lineage, everything about you should be accepted because you are a wonderful person and you are doing things to save the world. You are not being a demon. You are being a K-pop demon hunter. I think that was a really good way to showcase a lot of detail, but I wish they would have explored it a little bit more with a little bit more time, because at the end of the day, it's masterpiece. And they should have had a theatrical run for it, because I would have watched it in theaters, and I will be playing these songs over and over again because Golden is my favorite. But these songs are incredible. I think they showcase how much of an influence the cultural aspect of K-pop and how big it has become. Because I am not a super big K-pop fan, but I am totally a K-pop Demon Hunters fan, easily. So with all that in mind, I would give K-pop Demon Hunters a solid 9 out of 10. I wish it was just a little longer. Wish we had more to it. Then it would have been an easy 10 out of 10. But for now, I'll save my review at 9 out of 10. So there you have it. I gave you my thoughts and opinions about what K-pop Demon Hunters meant to me. And now I want to hear what you all think about it down in the comments. Do you agree or disagree with my opinions and the general consensus about it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, consider dropping a like and subscribing for more. As always, check the links in my description for my main video essay channel and my Patreon to support the channel and recommend media for me to review next. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.